The morning sun cast long shadows across Marcus Thompson's farmland when the convoy of police cars roared up his gravel driveway. Dust clouds billowed behind 3 black and white vehicles as they screeched to a halt near his modest wooden farmhouse. Marcus stepped onto his front porch, wiping his hands on a worn towel. His loyal German shepherd, Rex, bounded up beside him, tail wagging at the unexpected visitors. The dog had been Marcus's companion for 8 years, protecting the farm and providing comfort during the loneliest nights. "Marcus Thompson?" Officer Kane barked as he slammed his car door. His partner, Officer Mills, flanked him with hand resting on his weapon. "That's me," Marcus replied calmly. "What can I help you with, officers?" "We have a warrant to search these premises for stolen farm equipment," Kane announced, waving a crumpled paper in the air. Rex stepped forward protectively, sensing his owner's tension. The dog let out a low, warning bark. "Keep that animal back," Mills shouted. "Rex is harmless," Marcus said, reaching down to calm his dog. "He's just protective of the property." Without warning, Kane drew his weapon. The sharp crack of gunfire split the morning air. Rex collapsed instantly, his loyal eyes growing still as blood pooled beneath him on the wooden porch steps. Marcus dropped to his knees beside his fallen companion, his heart shattering as he cradled Rex's motionless head. "Animal was attacking," Kane muttered to Mills, holstering his weapon. "We had no choice." Marcus fought back tears as he gently closed Rex's eyes. His trembling hand reached into his shirt pocket, discreetly activating his phone's recording function. Years of dealing with harassment had taught him to always be prepared. Mills pulled a rusty crowbar from his patrol car and tossed it near the barn entrance. Kane kicked dirt over it, making it appear buried. "Found the stolen tools right here," he announced loudly for his body camera. "That's not mine," Marcus protested, his voice cracking with grief and anger. "Save it for the judge," Mills sneered. 20 minutes later, Detective Sarah Chen's unmarked sedan pulled into the driveway. Her sharp eyes immediately scanned the scene. She noticed the fresh tire tracks, the oddly placed crowbar, and most importantly, the lack of blood spatter that should accompany an aggressive dog attack. "What happened here?" Sarah asked Kane directly. "Routine search warrant execution. Dog attacked, we neutralized the threat, found stolen property," Kane replied mechanically. Sarah knelt beside Rex's body, examining the entry wound. Single shot to the chest from at least 6 feet away. Strange position for an attacking animal. Kane's jaw tightened. Mills shifted nervously. "You questioning our report, Chen?" Kane's voice carried a dangerous edge. Sarah stood slowly, her hand instinctively moving toward her service weapon. "Just doing my job, Kane. Just like you should be." Sarah crouched near the barn, studying the crowbar with latex gloves. The metal showed no weathering despite supposedly being buried for weeks. Fresh scratches marred its surface, and the dirt around it had been hastily scattered. "This evidence doesn't match the report timeline," she called out to Kane, who was standing 20 yards away near his patrol car. Kane exchanged worried glances with Mills. They hadn't expected a detective to arrive so quickly. Marcus approached Sarah cautiously, his phone still recording in his pocket. "Detective, I need to show you something," he whispered. She followed him behind the farmhouse, out of earshot from the other officers. Marcus pulled out his phone and played back the audio recording. Sarah's expression hardened as she listened to Kane's casual admission about the planted evidence. "This is solid proof," she said quietly. "But we need more witnesses." "I might be able to help with that," Marcus replied. Across the field, Lisa Martinez was hanging laundry on her clothesline when she spotted Sarah's questioning gesture. The middle-aged woman hurried over, her neighbor Joe Walker following close behind. "We saw everything from our kitchen window," Lisa said, pointing toward her house. "That poor dog never moved toward those officers. Rex was just standing there when they shot him." Joe nodded vigorously. Been living next door for 12 years. Rex wouldn't hurt a fly. Those cops lied about everything. Meanwhile, Kane noticed the gathering group and nudged Mills. Chen's asking too many questions. We need to control this situation before it gets out of hand. Mills checked his watch nervously. Maybe we should call this in, get backup. No, Kane hissed. We handle this ourselves. Too many people know about our arrangement with the evidence room. Sarah caught their hushed conversation from across the yard. She discreetly texted her supervisor while maintaining eye contact with Kane, letting him know she wasn't backing down. Kane's radio crackled to life. Unit 7, what's your status on the Thompson property? He grabbed the device quickly. All clear, dispatch. Wrapping up shortly. But Sarah had already called for backup. Kane realized their window was closing fast. Mills, get that crowbar. We're leaving now, Kane ordered through gritted teeth. Mills jogged toward the barn, but Sarah stepped into his path. That's evidence in an active investigation. You can't remove it. Move aside, Chen. You're interfering with police business, Kane shouted, his hand hovering near his weapon. Marcus stepped forward, his phone held high, still recording. The whole neighborhood is watching now. Indeed, more residents had gathered along the property line. Lisa's teenage son held up his own phone, live-streaming the confrontation on social media. Kane lunged for Marcus's phone. Give me that device. Marcus dodged backward, stumbling over Rex's body. Sarah drew her weapon instantly. Stand down, Kane. That's an order. Mills panicked and made a grab for the crowbar. Sarah spun toward him, and Kane seized the moment to sprint toward his patrol car. The engine roared to life as he threw it in reverse, kicking up gravel and dust. Stop! Sarah commanded, but Kane was already speeding down the driveway. Mills abandoned the evidence and chased after his partner on foot, but Joe Walker stuck out his leg, sending the corrupt officer tumbling into the dirt. Citizens arrest. Joe declared, pinning Mills down with surprising strength for a man his age. Kane's patrol car fishtailed onto the main road, but sirens wailed in the distance. Sarah's backup had arrived right on schedule. 3 patrol cars formed a roadblock at the highway intersection, trapping Kane's vehicle. Sarah radioed her position. Suspect in custody at the Thompson farm. Primary suspect contained at Highway 9 intersection. Marcus looked down at his fallen companion, then at the community members surrounding him. Lisa placed a comforting hand on his shoulder while Joe kept Mills firmly restrained. Rex died protecting this place, Marcus said quietly. But he also exposed the truth. The distant sound of car doors slamming echoed across the fields as Kane was pulled from his patrol car in handcuffs. Mills writhed beneath Joe's grip, his career and freedom evaporating with each passing second. Sarah holstered her weapon and looked at Marcus with respect. Your recording just changed everything. 3 hours later, the Thompson farm buzzed with activity as investigators documented every detail. Crime scene photographers captured the planted evidence while technicians collected Rex's remains for forensic examination. District Attorney Rebecca Stone arrived personally to review Marcus's audio recording. Her face grew stern as Kane's voice clearly admitted to planting the crowbar and lying about the dog attack. This is ironclad evidence of police misconduct and evidence tampering, Stone announced to the gathered crowd. Both officers will face federal charges. Kane and Mills sat in separate patrol cars, their hands cuffed behind their backs. Kane stared straight ahead, refusing to make eye contact with anyone. Mills kept shaking his head, muttering about his pension and family. Sarah approached Marcus, who was sitting on his porch steps where Rex had fallen. The internal affairs investigation will be thorough. Your recording exposed a pattern of corruption that goes back months. Marcus nodded slowly. Rex always knew something was wrong when they came around before. Dogs sense things we miss. Lisa and Joe had organized the neighborhood to bring food and support. Children played in the yard while adults shared stories about their own encounters with the corrupt officers. "This community stood together today," Lisa said, handing Marcus a plate of homemade sandwiches. Rex's sacrifice wasn't in vain. Local news crews arrived as the sun began to set. Marcus found himself speaking to reporters about the importance of recording police interactions and knowing your rights. "Change happens when good people refuse to stay silent," he told the cameras. Detective Chen showed that honest officers exist. "Our neighbors prove that communities can unite against injustice." Sarah watched from her car as Marcus was surrounded by supporters. Her radio crackled with reports of other residents coming forward with additional evidence against Kane and Mills. As darkness fell over Cedar Grove, Marcus buried Rex beneath the old oak tree overlooking his fields. The community gathered around him, holding candles and sharing memories of the faithful dog who had helped expose the truth. Justice had prevailed, and hope flickered like those candles in the gentle evening breeze.